Oscillating spindle sander number 2. The first one had a fatal flaw. I threaded a metal shaft into the orange juicer, and it's a plastic gear inside. I put it back together, but I threaded it in there, and of course that failed because the plastic couldn't handle the metal, and even though it was threaded nicely, eventually it cracked under the stress of constantly being pulled in different directions as it rotated, so that failed. Well, thankfully I had another orange juicer, and this one I did it differently because it had a working shaft inside, as you can see here. This is the shaft that it came with. It's a hexagonal shaft, and the shaft fits in the gear, so I don't have to do anything there. I just had to fit the other hexagonal shaft, which just so happens to match a 3/8 inch drive. So I've mounted a 3/8 inch drive from an old set that I inherited. I would never use my own tools for that. But then I have a square fitting here to adapt to. So that square fitting, I cut a piece of oak that's exactly 9 meters or 9 millimeters square, and a piece of beech and some plywood from the old one, just simply mounted on there with a couple of pins so I can adjust it if necessary. And the other parts of the mechanism remain the same, except that I added a lever to the extension lever. And what this does is it brings out the reach, so it's a vertical up and down rather than an angled up and down, which puts less stress on the mechanism here at the bottom, which is merely a cord. And it works really well. Let me put it back together. In fact, it worked so well I was able to work on about 24 pieces. This project I'm working on, and about 24 of these for a particular project. So to see it in action, I simply just turn on the drill. It's spinning in place. Plug in. And that's all it is. It works that easy. And like I said, I did about 24 of these. It took a little over 2 hours. The only thing I had to worry about was the motor gets a little bit warm. So it does warm up a little bit. Otherwise, it was fine. It ran over 2 hours and it works great. Homemade oscillating spindle sander 2.0.